How we doing, everybody? It's another beautiful day in the Cheesy Moon Workshop. I've been trying to get to this video since Sunday evening, and I think I finally have a few minutes of quiet. Went out with my wife, my daughter, my granddaughter Saturday and hit some yard sales, and I found 2 locations with some knives. And yeah, the most expensive knife in here is $3. Let's see if we can get them out of here. And we'll push them off to the side and bring them in here one at a time. We'll start with this. Not really a knife. A nice little stone. Kind of neat. Don't know how old it is. Advertising on this side. Pretty neat. Also found this little magnifying lens here. It's probably for, it's some Bosch Lama. It's probably for previewing slides or something of that nature. But you can put a knife in there. And I don't know if I can do this on camera or not, but read tang stamps pretty neat, or pretty easy. So I went ahead and give the guy $1 for that. Okay, on to the knives. A couple of these knives I paid $1 for. Gave the fella $1 for this one. I'll be nice because he might watch the video. But him or someone else has one of those electric draw-through sharpeners and really went to town on this blade. And sad part is it's not very sharp. The bad part is they also sharpened the screwdriver. And unfortunately, that is pretty sharp. But, you know, if they don't know, they don't know. I can't pick on them too much. But that's not supposed to be sharp. The maker on this, I believe, is just an electric company who contracted to have them made. I didn't see any info on this on my books. But it's something McPherson's or something, McPherson's company. I'll see if I can find out some more information on that. I believe that's probably just the electrician that Colonial or Imperial or someone made this knife for. It's like plastic handles with wood grain pattern on it. But not, you know, it's an okay little knife for $1. Then I picked up this knife. It's got some beautiful bone. It's got a chip on either side of the spring pin. It's an old Cutmaster made in USA. Pretty well sharpened, you know, ground down on the sharpening stone. A little bit of snap to it. I think it'll clean up, and the blade's a little worn down. But I believe the snap will come back fully with a good cleaning, because it is pretty nasty inside. All in all, it's an attractive older knife. Not bad for, I believe this was $2. And this was $3. No, this was $2 as well. This is a Frost Cutlery, fairly new. And fit and finish on this for a Frost is pretty good. It's brand new, never been sharpened. So it's a pretty decent little knife. There's some little scratches and dings in the brass, but not too bad. It's not China, it's Pakistan. But I got to be honest, with so many knives being made outside the United States now that are getting good reviews and people are collecting them. I mean, there's tons of them being made in China. Rough Riders is one of the more popular slip joint knives made in China that you can buy for $10, $12, and they're flying off the shelves. People love them. So I'm really not going to knock this little Frost. This is probably a $10 knife or whatever, but it's brand new, decent shape. And then there was this old timer, and you can see from the black on that springs and down in this, it got itself a vinegar bath somewhere. Any of you folks that are watching this that don't know, please do not ever put your knife in a vinegar bath. It's okay to put a little bit of vinegar in the water, but chances are, looking at this and the way it has degraded the metal here, this was probably in some pure vinegar, and that will really mess up a knife. It causes the springs to weaken and become brittle. A lot of times after a vinegar bath, springs will just flat out snap and break. But there's no snap on this knife whatsoever. Maybe a little bit on the main blade, which has been sharpened pretty much, but you can just see how black that is. And I just saw something here that might be attributing to the lack of snap in this knife. Bear with me 1 second there, folks. Hey, doggy. Big old dust bunny. Yeah, it's definitely needs to be cleaned out. But it's an old timer. I can't even make out what the model is on there right now. It's so covered in rust and black rust. But I'll have that information when I do the cleanup video on this. It's definitely a USA knife for sure. There's a little bit of snap on the main blade. Nothing on the other blades. But a neat little knife. And I also got this knife. And this knife is a nail breaker. It has these plastic handles that have started to shrink a little bit, but not too bad. I believe, based on these pinch bolsters, I believe this is made by Colonial. It doesn't have a name, it just says made in USA. But snap is, yeah, it just says made in USA on there. I mean, that is a snap. It doesn't like snap into the half stop, but it is half stop there. Maybe that's the oil thing, but good Lord, that's got some snap to it. And same with this other little nail breaker here. And this knife, I don't believe it's ever been sharpened. Yeah, that's pretty stiff. Super snap on that one. I mean, patina, yeah, it's got it. Not a whole lot of surface rust. And I don't believe that blade's ever been sharpened. So it was probably, a dime store knife. They probably sold it pretty cheap back in the day. There's no brand on it. It just says made in USA. Very cheap for the time. No brass liners in it or anything. Probably just an inexpensive dime store gas station knife for its time. But man, what snap is on that thing. And that's actually a pretty attractive little knife. And then this one was $2 as well. It's a Gerber 450. Easy out, made in USA. I'm not a thumb flipper, guys, so you have to excuse the lack of flipping. I mean, I can't operate it one hand. I mean, but because of my hands, it's not that easy for me to do. But it's in great shape. Blade just needs a little honing in, a little touch up. It's dirty. There's lots of dirt in it. But it's a good knife. I mean, it's got a little pocket clip on it here. Make a nice little EDC camping work knife. And you may have caught a glimpse of this little Victorinox Classic. Nice little knife. I did oil this up a little bit because I'm going to give this to my wife because we have a Chrysler 300 and this is branded with Chrysler on it, so I'm going to stick that on her keychain. It's all there. It's complete. Nice little green Chrysler knife. And the last two. This little joker here. Look at the blade profile on this guy. Let's see if I can get up here. That is one long, narrow, wicked little knife, and it is made by Western. See if we can get it to focus. It says Western USA, and there's a model number on the back. 242, and I believe it's an F underneath there. I'm guessing it's never been sharpened either. This little blade, it's got some rust on it, but it is pretty sharp, as well as this one is. The little pins on the handle, it's kind of neat the way they focus. It's kind of neat the way they're, it's like a rivet type deal through the scales into the liner. So that's pretty neat. And this little knife is going to clean up super good. I'm going to polish up that brass, try to get all that surface rust off of there, and get it cleaned out because it's pretty, it's not too bad on the inside. Yeah. Got a little bit of sandpaper and WD-40 won't fix on the inside. But this is going to be a sweet little knife. It's tiny, but hey, for opening packages and whatnot, that's a great little knife. And if that blade was 10 or 12 inches long, that would be wicked scary. I just thought it was super cool. and snap like crazy. That's going to clean up real nice. And then I came across this knife. Still in a box, like new condition, with the exception of a little bit of patina on the blade. It's got these little crowns on there. Oh, most of you guys know what that means. Still in a box, nice little fishing knife. Imperial USA. I believe this is like 56 through 80 or something like that. It's probably pretty new. It's probably a 70s or 80s knife, but it is absolutely perfect, except for this little bit of staining right here. A little bit of patina. And that's just from oxygen getting to the blade there. All the patent numbers, model numbers, wherever they are on the back. And this is Florida. It's probably been a Florida knife. There's high humidity down here. There's some patina on the scaler or descaler. Not much on the back. But this was $2 as well. And in my opinion, it is the clamshell crimped handles. Come on, focus. Okay, but they are solid as can be, and I love these old fish knives. I have a black Camco. I have one that I redid and put new handles on it, handle scales. This is just like, and I've got another knife that was sent to me right here that this knife is exactly like the one I bought when I was a kid, except the one I bought had yellow handles instead of this imitation mother of pearl plastic. But this knife, and this was the second knife I ever had, brand new, that I bought from the Kresge's 5 and Dime, which later became Kmart. This was the second one, and this right here, a clamshell Barlow, was the first knife that I bought. Now this one needs a little work. The clamshells are a little rattly, a little loose. I'll just have to go in there and tighten those up a little bit, and it'll be just fine. It was in okay shape. Never been sharpened. It's an Imperial, Ireland. So it's not as old as the first one that I bought, but it's just a flashback for me, because this, of course, the one I had was carbon steel. It was made in the mid to late 60s. This has never been sharpened, has some patina on it. It is a clamshell knife, but I can't knock it. It's going to be a user. It'll go in a pocket once I either, I'm going to crimp these again and maybe do a little epoxy or super glue on those. But never been sharpened, in great shape. Snap for days. I haven't cleaned it up or anything. But this one here, this was my favorite. This little Western and this here fishing knife were my favorites. This is brand new. I don't think I'll carry this. I think I'll just clean it up and put it in my collection. It's just in great shape, and I think a lot of this stuff will clean up with a very minimal effort. And there's a little bit of patina on this little badge. I really don't know what that badge is. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Maybe it's P for Patrick. I can go for that. A little fishy on it. So there we go, guys. This was the knife haul. And there was one other knife. I didn't leave it out, but there's just a little bit more of a story that goes with that. there was this Opinel number 7, and it didn't have the locking collar on it, and the blade sits down in there a ways. Can't really get to the nail nick. And I looked up, I tried to date this and see what year it was from, and I looked at the chart that I was able to find on like Reddit or somewhere, and this tang stamp looked so similar from 1909 to 1980, I really couldn't tell. I made a quick little video, sent out there, asking for people's help, and I got it. Young man I shared the other day at Pocket Knife Therapy, he has a keen eye. I'm trying to get this up on the camera and get it to focus. You note the thumb on that hand is kind of kicked out a little bit, like so. And on the older knife blade stamps or whatever, it's closed. So he said, yeah, it sticks out a little bit, and there's some other minute differences. He said, so this is probably that 60s to 80s knife. And at the same time I posted that video, I sent an email to Opinel USA and some photos and asked them, and they confirmed what Pocket Knife Therapy said, that it is from between 1960 and 1980. It is missing the lock, and they said that, I looked up and I can replace the lock, but I think what I'll do is just hang on to this like it is, and maybe I'll find a vintage lock so I don't have the brand new shiny lock on there. But yeah, and it's in the $2 maybe. Yeah, I think it was in the $2 pile. I've never had one of these before. They're pretty neat. I like them. And if I find a collar or lock, whatever you call it, vibra lock, I think they call them, it is pretty sharp. And but yeah, that was the other special one that I found that I really enjoyed. Got some good comments on it. But Pocket Knife Therapy was right. Between 1960 and 1980, more narrowed down 67 through 80. But even the folks at Opinel couldn't narrow it down that tight. So there we go, folks. That's my weekend pocket knife find. I am for sure going to be doing a cleanup video on that knife and that knife and the old timer. And I might do a cleanup and polish up on this old Colonial there. Everything else is already in pretty decent shape. Quick wipe down, oil down, and we're good to go. So I think my next video is going to be cleaning up these knives and the reveal of my camp knife that I'm putting new handles on. This was the Ideal knife that had the clamshells that were in bad shape. So I made some wood scales. I got some good input from a lot of the folks who viewed and left comments. And the original choice did not work out, but I was able to use some of the wood that everybody chose, which was the number 1, which I still haven't identified. I'm going to Woodcraft tomorrow to get answers on those. But that's going to be a fun reveal. It'll be a couple more days before I'm done with it. And my camera's sagging and falling down and giving me all kinds of stuff here. Okay, and then another video I'm going to be doing real soon is a cleanup of this Boy Scout knife that I received today in the mail. For some reason, the liner locks don't lock up. It is absolutely filthy nasty inside. I can see they use some sandpaper or something to kind of shine it up and make it a little more presentable. But it needs a good cleaning, a good oiling, and some adjustments. Having been a scout leader, Cub master, and did all the Cub Scout stuff with my son, this is a special knife for me. I love camping knives, but the Cub Scout knife was it was a nice surprise. So I'll be doing a full video on this one. So guys, until I see you next time, please remember to like, subscribe, share the video, hit the notification bell, leave me some comments. Let me know what you're thinking, what you'd like to see. If you have any questions, let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're any of my local Orlando people, let me know. And until I see you guys again, have a beautiful day.